The budget income statement presented below is for Burkett Corporation for the coming fiscal year. If Burkett Corporation is able to achieve the budgeted level of sales, its margin of safety in dollars would be what? Okay, so we're looking for margin of safety in dollars. And the formula that we want to use to do that would be this. It's a simple formula. Margin of safety in dollars equals budgeted sales minus break-even sales. So we've got to do some calculating here. We've got the one piece of it. We've got the budgeted sales, which are $952,000 from this budget up here. We got that. What we need to do some calculating on is the break-even sales. That's the problem that we need to really focus in on, is break-even sales. So here's what we're going to do to get these break-even sales. This is going to be a pretty long kind of an explanation, but basically here's what has to happen. Break-even sales is where we have no profit and we have no loss, and we want to first of all look at the following. We want to take sales and to find our sales price per unit, which would be the total sales of 952 divided by the number of units, which are 56,000, and our selling price per unit is going to be $17. So we need that piece of information. Again, we're trying to get break-even sales. In this case, it'd be break-even sales in dollars. Okay, now, so we got selling price per unit $17. Next, we're going to say if revenues minus variable cost equals contribution margin, then our revenues of 952 minus all of our variable cost, which we've got the following variable cost: direct materials 224.6, direct labor 246, variable factory overhead of 150,600, and variable marketing cost of 50,600. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 variable costs. If we add all those up and subtract them from revenues of $952,000, we'll take the $952,000 worth of sales minus all of these variable costs of $666,400, and we've got now contribution margin in total of $285,600. So if we take the total contribution margin of $285,600 and divide it by 56,000 units that we are operating at on that budget, then we'll get what our budgeted contribution margin per unit is, which is $5.10. Remember, we're still trying to get this break-even sales. So now we have two pieces. We've got sales per unit, which is $17, and now we also have the contribution margin per unit, which is $5.10. To get our contribution margin ratio, we will take our sales of, our contribution margin per unit of $5.10 divided by our selling price is $17 and express that in terms of a percentage. So our contribution margin expressed in terms of a percentage is going to be 30%. That's $5.10 divided by 17. So to get break-even sales, we want to take total fixed cost and divide it by the contribution margin ratio, which we said was 30%. And so total fixed costs are going to be $213,600, which will be the fixed cost for the factory overhead of 103 and the fixed marketing cost of 110,600, and this gives us a total fixed cost of 213,600. If you divide that by the 30% contribution margin percentage, or in this case the contribution margin ratio, then you get break-even in sales dollars of $712,000. So if our break-even sales dollars are $712,000 and our budgeted sales from this budget are $952,000, then our margin of safety in dollars will be the difference, which is $240,000. In other words, sales could drop from this budget level down to a break-even point of $712,000, and therefore our sales could drop in a margin of safety of $240,000.